The rise and fall of the Vandal Kingdom. In the late days of the Western Roman Empire, a time of chaos and fragmentation, a Germanic tribe known as the Vandals rose from obscurity to establish a kingdom that would shake the foundations of Roman power. Their story is one of ambition, survival, conquest, and eventual collapse. The Vandal Kingdom, though relatively short-lived, played a crucial role in reshaping the Mediterranean world during the 5th and 6th centuries. Origins of the Vandals. The Vandals were originally an East Germanic people, likely originating from the area that is now southern Poland. By the 2nd century AD, they began migrating southward, coming into contact with the Roman Empire. Like many other barbarian tribes, the Vandals lived on the periphery of Rome, both threatened by and attracted to the wealth and stability of the empire. There were two main branches of the Vandals, the Hasdingi and the Silingi. The Hasdingi settled in the region near the Carpathian Mountains, while the Silingi occupied parts of modern-day Silesia. Their early history was marked by frequent conflicts with neighboring tribes and pressures from the advancing Huns. In the early 5th century, under increasing pressure from the Huns and facing difficult living conditions, the Vandals, along with the Alans and Suebi, crossed the frozen Rhine River into Roman Gaul in the year 406 AD. This event marked the beginning of their journey into the heart of the Roman world, into the Western Roman Empire. The crossing of the Rhine unleashed chaos across Gaul. The Vandals plundered towns and cities as they moved through the region. The Roman military was overstretched and unable to contain the invaders. In 409 AD, the Vandals entered the Iberian Peninsula, today's Spain and Portugal, where they divided territory with other migrating tribes. The Silingi Vandals settled in Baetica, while the Hasdingi took over Galicia. However, their presence in Iberia was unstable. The Roman Empire, still attempting to control the situation, used Visigothic mercenaries to attack the Vandals. The Silingi were nearly annihilated, and the Hasdingi lost much of their power. By 419, the surviving Vandals, now unified under the Hasdingian king Gaiseric, fled south into Roman North Africa. Gaiseric in the African campaign Gaiseric, also spelled Gaiseric, was one of the most capable barbarian leaders of late antiquity. Born around 389 AD, he rose to power in 428 and would rule the Vandals for nearly 50 years. Under his leadership, the Vandals would achieve their greatest success. In 429, with about 80,000 followers including warriors, women, and children, Gaiseric led his people across the Strait of Gibraltar into Roman North Africa. The reasons for this migration are not entirely clear. Some sources suggest that Boniface, the Roman governor of the region, invited the Vandals to support him in a civil war. Others argue Gaiseric saw an opportunity in the weakened Roman state. Regardless of the cause, the Vandals moved swiftly. Over the next decade, they fought a series of brutal campaigns against Roman forces and local resistance. By 439, they had captured Carthage, one of the wealthiest cities in the Western Mediterranean. The fall of Carthage was a shock to the Roman world. It marked the emergence of the Vandal Kingdom as a real power. The Vandal Kingdom, established with Carthage as its capital, the Vandal Kingdom controlled a vast territory across North Africa, including parts of modern-day Tunisia, Algeria, and Libya. The Vandals also seized the islands of Sardinia, Corsica, the Balearic Islands, and parts of Sicily. This maritime power made them a serious threat to Roman shipping and trade. Gaiseric organized his new kingdom carefully. While he remained king of the Vandals, he allowed the existing Roman administration to continue under his oversight. Many cities retained their civic institutions, though they now answered to Vandal rulers. The kingdom minted its own coins and maintained diplomatic relations with both the Western and Eastern Roman empires. Religion, however, became a source of conflict. The Vandals were Arians, a Christian sect that believed Jesus Christ was not of the same essence as God the Father. This put them at odds with the Roman Catholic majority in North Africa. Gaiseric's rule saw periods of persecution against Catholic bishops and clergy. Churches were seized, and some Catholic leaders were exiled. Despite this, many ordinary Romans remained in their communities, adapting to life under Vandal rule. Naval power and the sack of Rome. One of Gaiseric's greatest achievements was building a powerful Vandal navy. His fleet dominated the Western Mediterranean, launching raids along the coasts of Italy, Gaul, and the Eastern Empire. Roman attempts to stop these raids often failed. In 455, after the assassination of the Western Roman Emperor Valentinian III, Rome descended into further chaos. The new regime insulted Gaiseric by refusing to honor a marriage alliance. In response, Gaiseric sailed to Italy with his fleet and sacked Rome. Unlike the brutal sack of Rome by the Visigoths in 410, the Vandal sack was relatively restrained. Gaiseric promised Pope Leo I that the city would not be burned and the people would not be slaughtered. While many treasures were taken and some people enslaved, the city was spared widespread destruction. Still, the word vandalism would later come to represent senseless destruction because of this event. The sack of Rome marked the high point of Vandal power. Gaiseric continued to rule until his death in 477, maintaining control over his territories and defending them from Roman attempts to reconquer North Africa. Decline after Gaiseric. After Gaiseric's death, his son Huneric became king. Unlike his father, Huneric lacked political skill and diplomatic tact. His reign was marked by renewed religious persecution. Catholic bishops were exiled, tortured, and killed. Huneric also faced internal revolts and began to lose control over parts of his kingdom. The following kings, Guntherman and Thrasimund, tried to restore stability. They softened religious policies and rebuilt relations with the local Roman population. Trade and agriculture revived somewhat. However, the strength of the kingdom was slowly eroding. The final Vandal king, Gelimer, came to power in 530. By this time, the Eastern Roman Empire, under Emperor Justinian I, had begun a campaign to reconquer the western provinces. In 533, General Belisarius led a Roman expedition to North Africa. The campaign was swift and decisive. The Vandals, weakened by internal divisions and years of decline, were defeated at the Battle of Ad Decimum and again at Tricamarum. In 534, Gelimer surrendered and the Vandal Kingdom came to an end. North Africa was restored to Roman control, becoming part of the Byzantine Empire. Legacy of the Vandals. The Vandal Kingdom lasted less than a century, but its impact was significant. It demonstrated the vulnerability of the Western Roman Empire and the ability of so-called barbarian tribes to build functioning states on former Roman lands. Despite their reputation, the Vandals were not mindless destroyers. They preserved elements of Roman administration and culture. Their religious intolerance was harsh but not unique for the time. In many ways, their kingdom was a hybrid of Roman and Germanic traditions. Today, the word Vandal evokes images of senseless destruction, but the historical Vandals were more complex. They were migrants, warriors, rulers, and participants in the dramatic transformation of the ancient world. Their story is a reminder of how power can shift and how even the mightiest empires can fall to determined outsiders.